For a newcomer, what do you suggest?
Yeah, for a newcomer, I would just suggest that start shooting first. तो मैं इंजीनियरिंग के बाद नौकरी छोड़ के गया था पढ़ने. एक तो हो गया काइंड ऑफ आर्ट फॉर्म है और लोग उससे अपने एक्सप्रेशंस बाहर लाते हैं.
We have this special guest today, one of those, you can say, youngest photographers in the fraternity right now. So we have Prateek Swadesh. So technically 24 months of journey independently you have done. And you have done some stupendous work, phenomenal work in the field of fashion, hotel industry, as in the hospitality segment and all that. So I mean, why don't you speak about how you started as a photographer?
Well, thank you first of all for inviting me on this platform and you finding me कि मैं इस लायक हूँ. So
I
thank
was
you.
chasing you 3 times. Like, this is the third time you said yes to, right?
I know. All this we don't say it on the camera. This is the.
It's fine. It's the audience is like
Yes.
quite chill with
But
that.
I'm very happy that we both are sitting and talking about something. I don't know what we will talk, but चलो देखते हैं. So photography, देखो फोटोग्राफी के भी दो चीजें हैं आजकल, अगर आप मेरे से पूछो तो. एक तो हो गया हार्डकोर कमर्शियल एडवर्टाइजिंग जो कि मैं कर रहा हूँ,
Right.
और दूसरा हो गया एक फोटोग्राफी जो कि एक काइंड ऑफ आर्ट फॉर्म है और लोग उससे अपने एक्सप्रेशंस बाहर लाते हैं. तो मेरे को लगता है अभी करंटली मैं पहली कैटेगरी में हूँ, वेयर आई एम लिटिल अग्रेसिव टुवर्ड्स माय करियर एज अ कमर्शियल एंड एडवर्टाइजिंग गाय. It started in 2017 with a very formal education from a very prestigious college in India. It's the Bharati Vidyapeeth School of Photography, where I Pune. Yes, so it's in the main campus as all the other colleges. It has about 70 odd colleges in one campus, and ours was one of them. So it's a 2-year course that I enrolled into, which was hardcore commercial and advertising photography. And we were trained by the biggest photographers, and there would be art directors who would come and teach us. There would be uh, good stylists who would come on board and kind of tell us how to do what to do. And thanks to my mentors and professors as well, that I was in very safe hand. तो मैं इंजीनियरिंग के बाद नौकरी छोड़ के गया था पढ़ने. I was 26 years old when I went there. And तो पहली बार ऐसा इंडिया में एक मॉडल मिला जिसमें कि एजुकेशन was so much, uh, education was on a different kind of hierarchy tree, where you would sit with your professor and keep talking about things, and then in the class you would go and you will start understanding the techniques of it, and then same night you will just sit and do some random stuff with them, and next day it was all again same. तो वो एक मॉडल जो एजुकेशन का वहाँ पे था वो काफ़ी अलग था, और आई थिंक मेरे इस बंदे के लिए वो बहुत ही काम कर गया, क्योंकि आई लर्न दी हार्ड वे, बट व्हेन आई लर्न इन एंड आउट. तो मेरे को काफ़ी अच्छे मेंटर्स मिल गए थे वहाँ पे, तो उस वजह से आई थिंक दे काइंड ऑफ रिकग्नाइज किया, यार हाँ इसमें ये डालो तो ये सीख जाएगा, इसमें फ्यूल भरो तो ये इंजन चालू हो जाता है. तो उस वे में मैं काफ़ी लकी था कि उस स्कूल से मेरे को एजुकेशन मिला, और मैं भी क्या 26 ईयर ओल्ड के बाद आई वाज आल्सो आउट ऑफ दैट कंफर्ट जोन, एंड आई वांटेड टू काइंड ऑफ लर्न एंड डू समथिंग. तो उस हिसाब से फोटोग्राफी स्टार्टेड हैपनिंग from 2017 until 2019 that I studied, and then post that assistantship, how everybody does it. And then thanks to COVID, because I was based in Mumbai after my education in Pune, and I was assisting very big names there. Apart from that, मेरे जितने भी इंडस्ट्रियल और relationships जो थे, वो सारे के सारे मुंबई बेस्ड थे. But then COVID happened. I thought of shifting back to Delhi, and then I started from zero again. And I think I'm quite blessed as a photographer that I kept meeting the right people who had trust on me, and they showed me the right path, and good opportunities came by me.
Yeah.
I met people like you and the other people as well who came across, and then thought process is matched. And then again, in today's day and age, it's very this thing that, as more than as a photographer, I think people come to us as problem solvers because of the time frame that we are in. तो आई थिंक आई एम दैट गाय कि आप आए यार मेरे पास ये प्रॉब्लम है, अब तू अपनी आर्ट फॉर्म से इसको सॉल्व कर दे.
So let's go one step back.
Yeah.
I understand that you opted for photography after engineering.
Yeah.
But if you look at the problem statement uh, of an Indian household,
Yeah.
as in what my kid is gonna do.
Yeah.
You did engineering, and after that you persuaded this course.
Yeah.
So I also done engineering.
I know.
Right? And for our parents, engineering or being a doctor is something which is very respectable. That's how they see it. They see it from a different lens, and I respect that because they come from a very different school of thought, and they raised us
Yes.
beautifully. But how did you, because see, this question is for the masses, like everybody who's watching this right now. I mean, social media has changed the dynamics of how the content has to be consumed, and obviously parents are also getting, they're watching content online, they're watching stuff online. I mean, the way you say the charity starts from home, I think the research starts from home. I see my father like swiping of the reels or throughout the day whenever he's busy. So it has changed. Now, yes, Indian parents have adopted to that thing yet, okay, your kid can do something or whatever like this thing. But when you are done with a professional degree, how do you persuade your parents that, hey, you know what, I did my engineering, but I don't think I'm made for it, and I want to persuade this thing called photography? So what was the conversation like?
यार मतलब उस टाइम पे काफ़ी मुश्किल था उनको कन्विंस करना, और इसमें कोई सही या गलत नहीं होता. मतलब इट्स ऑल्सो फॉर द पेरेंट्स. आई एम नॉट जस्ट टॉकिंग टू यंग एस्पायरिंग फोटोग्राफर्स राइट नाउ, आई एम ऑल्सो टॉकिंग टू द पेरेंट्स कि इसमें कोई सही या कोई गलत नहीं है. जिस टाइम पे मैं बता देता हूँ कि मतलब मेरी इंजीनियरिंग 2011 में स्टार्ट हुई थी, एंड 2012 13 14 वाज द टाइम व्हेन आई रियलाइज कि दिस इज़ नॉट माय कप ऑफ टी. एंड इट ऑल्सो हैपेंड बिकॉज ऑफ माई राइट अपब्रिंगिंग विद द हेल्प ऑफ माई पेरेंट्स, जिन्होंने मेरे को अच्छे चीज़ें हमेशा से सिखाई हैं. तो उस वजह से आपको इतना अपने आप को अंडरस्टैंड करने का पावर आ जाता है कि यार हाँ ये मैं नहीं हूँ. तो जब मुझे वो समझ में आया तो पहले तो मैं खुद थोड़ा टाइम लिया इस चीज़ को अपने अंदर समझने के लिए कि यार अगर ये नहीं तो फिर क्या. क्योंकि अभी भी मैं अगर देखूं तो वो सबसे अच्छा ऑप्शन है आज के डेट में. गुड इंजीनियर इज ऑलवेज वैल्यूड एज पर मी.
I think anybody, you do anything in your life, when you do it wholeheartedly, I think you can nail it.
एंड मैं तब ऐसे भी सोचता था कि यार मैं इंजीनियर बन जाऊंगा बिकॉज आई वाज एन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स कम्युनिकेशन गाय, सो आई विल बी ऑन द टेक साइड ऑफ द
I did
कैमरा.
mechanical.
I know, you are the mechanical guy, but I thought ki I can be on the back end of like
Yeah.
a photography platform or some brand or something. But उस चीज़ ने जब जब ये सब चीज़ें हो रही थी तो इट वाज अ टफ टाइम. आई लेट मी बी ऑनेस्ट फॉर मी, माय पेरेंट्स, एवरीबॉडी. बट देन समहाउ I don't know. There are certain pushes, and I believe in this a lot now. That जो भी होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है, and there are signs that you have to connect the dots and move forward in life. So it's a very calculative risk that I took back then, क्योंकि मुझे पता था कि यार मैं एक नौकरी कर रहा था, अच्छे खासे मेरे को पैसे मिलते थे उसमें. तो मेरे को कभी ये तो स्ट्रेस नहीं था कि मेरे को नौकरी नहीं मिलेगी या मेरे को पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे. आ, उसके अलावा जो चीज़ ये थी वो मेरे बस दिमाग में ये रह गई थी कि यार ये ट्राई कर लेते हैं. बट मेरे को ट्राई ऐसे नहीं करना था, मुझे ट्राई प्रोफेशनली एक अच्छे स्कूल से पढ़ के ही करना था. ये मैं पहले दिन से क्लियर था. तो मेरे ख्याल से मेरे पेरेंट्स को ये भी अच्छा लगा होगा कि यार एटलीस्ट ही इज कंसर्न अबाउट हिज एजुकेशन इन फोटोग्राफी एंड नॉट जस्ट taking a camera and going to some mountains.
So I say, I mean, I understand completely, see, but I'll tell you exactly what is the challenge, because a lot of these queries also come up to me asking that, hey, you know what, my kid wants to do photography, my kid wants to do filmmaking, or my kids. So we understand FTI is one of those prestigious institutions which has a very, very tough entry, like the
क्योंकि
barrier gate is huge, right? But I mean, for a newcomer, for somebody who wants to pursue this visual art form or photography and all that, I mean, what do you recommend? Like, how did you figure out that this college where you studied in is the best one in the country? Because this is a question right now, because parents psychology is adopting to a newer system now, and parents are also like, if kid wants to do the filmmaking or cinematography, direction or photography. So I mean, how did you do the research back?
I'll tell you. So I that way I think I'm blessed because I have a cousin who went to Mumbai and studied photography prior to me 6 7 years ago. When I decided to join into photography, and my one point of contact was him. When I called him, I said, "मुझे ऐसे ऐसे करना है." Then I went to, there are 2 3 prestigious colleges. I went to Udan. Unfortunately, Udan did not have commercial and advertising. It had only journalism, and I was very clear कि जर्नलिज्म मेरे को नहीं करना है. मेरे को आई वांट टू डू समथिंग which has to be very narrative and where money can be rotated in and around.
Yeah.
So I was very clear from day one what I want as a photographer. The second option came as Bharatiya Vidyapeeth School of Photography because uh, उसके बाद उड़ान के बाद द न्यू अपकमिंग स्कूल वाज दैट. तो फिर अच्छा मेरे पास इतने पैसे नहीं थे कि मैं बाहर जाके पढूं. तो ये भी क्लियर है. और मैं आई एम नॉट दैट गाय हु विल गो आउट फॉर एनी स्टडीज और समथिंग. तो मैं बड़ा क्लियर था कि इतना मेरा बजट है, इतना मैं अफोर्ड कर सकता हूँ, इतना पैसा मेरे पास है, इतना मुझे अपने फादर से हेल्प लेना है या मदर से हेल्प लेना है. तो जो भी सिचुएशंस बनी उस हिसाब से मैं इंटरव्यू देने गया और मेरा वहाँ सिलेक्शन हो गया. तो मैंने कहा चलो ठीक है, गुड. आई वेंट. मेरे को तो कुछ पता नहीं था.
And what was the strength of the batch for this?
Strength was around 48 on day one. When we passed out, it was about 17 or 18, if I'm not wrong. बाकी बीच में लोग छोड़ के चले गए. कईयों को पता लगा कि यार हाँ, मतलब दिस इज इवन टफर देन इंग्लिश.
This not even our cup.
हाँ हाँ. तो मतलब मैंने सबसे ज़्यादा पढ़ाई अपनी फोटोग्राफी कॉलेज में ही करी है. मैं आपको बताता हूँ, इंजीनियरिंग से भी ज़्यादा मैंने पढ़ाई अपने फोटोग्राफी कॉलेज में करी है. और आई थिंक that's how the education should be. And I think the new policies also of government are very skill oriented, and my school was hardcore skill oriented. That's the thing that I really liked, and that helped me. And with the right mentorship, of course, if you have it and you fuel from it and you go like a rocket. So there was no brainer like that. It was quite easy for me.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, this was your journey in the academic side of it, like you moving from one field to another and all that.
Yeah.
But how did your career start in the commercial world? Like, what was your first gig about? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, तो back again I will go to my photography college कि मेरे को अच्छा हमारे यहाँ पे एक बड़ा सिंपल सा फंडा था. जो मेरे प्रोफेसर थे मिस्टर भरतभंगी, उन्होंने बड़े क्लियर रूल्स बनाए हुए थे. जो अच्छा परफॉर्म करेगा वो उसको ज़्यादा मिलेगा. सिंपल सी बात है. उसको ज़्यादा एजुकेशन भी मिलेगी, टाइम भी मिलेगा, नॉलेज भी मिलेगी, सब कुछ मिलेगा. तो हम उसमें से थे जो थोड़ा सा मतलब we did not had plan B, right? We were the people who had left plan A and gone to study plan B. तो हमें थोड़ा फास्ट फॉरवर्ड किया गया बैच में. और मेरा जो पहला एक्सपीरियंस था, मेरे को एक सेट पे भेजा टू असिस्ट, और वो सेट था टाटा स्काई का. और वहाँ पे जो हमारे प्रोटैगनिस्ट थे वो थे मिस्टर बच्चन. तो मैंने जो पहला सेट देखा था लाइफ में कि सेट होता क्या है, वो था एक टाटा स्काई और उसमें मिस्टर बच्चन थे. तो 11 साढ़े 11 बजे का हमारा कॉल टाइम था. 11:30 बजे मिस्टर बच्चन आते हैं और मैंने वही सेट देखा था. उसके अलावा मैंने कम से कम अपने फोटोग्राफी स्कूल में ही जब मैं असिस्ट करता था, मैंने कम से कम 50 60 और सेट देखे विद अ वेरी बिग फोटोग्राफर मिस्टर विनाश गुवारेकर. ही वाज वेरी काइंड इनफ. ही यूज्ड टू कॉल मी ऑन हिज सेट एंड आई वुड गो एंड सी एंड लर्न एंड अंडरस्टैंड. तो जब मैंने वो सेट्स देखे तो मुझे तो लगता था वही है, राइट. तो अच्छा उसके बाद कट टू जब आप दिल्ली आए और आपको कुछ पता ही नहीं है कि इंडस्ट्री में क्या है कैसे है.
The audience which doesn't know how to enter in this field and all that is something like we have a concept of placement cells when you are doing engineering.
Yes.
But there is no concept of placement cell in photography. So we want to just clarify to the audience.
Yes, it is not that.
You are on your own. The moment you are done with the degree, with the course, you are on your own in the market.
See, I did a diploma. It was not even a graduation. Graduation happens for 3 years. It was a 2-year course program when I was a student there. And out of 48 people, जो मतलब लड़ झगड़ के घर से आए थे कि मुझे फोटोग्राफर बनना है, उसमें से भी अगर 19 लोग आखिरी तक खड़े थे, तो आप सोचो कि मतलब वो कितना ब्रूटल कोर्स होगा उस टाइम पे.
इवन अगर वो 3 साल का आप ग्रेजुएशन भी करोगे तब भी आई थिंक प्लेसमेंट्स नहीं है. यू आर ऑन योर ओन. That's what
you are on your own. You will have to prove it from day one. Because जब मैं अपने कॉर्पोरेट करियर में भी था तो मेरे एक असिस्टेंट मैनेजर थे, उन्होंने मेरे को एक चीज़ बताई थी कि ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दैट समबडी इज वाचिंग यू. Even if you're sitting alone on your desk in your office, just remember somebody is watching you. There might be a camera, there might be some peon, there might be some boss walking around, somebody's observing you. And those things help you grow because कोई नहीं देख रहा है तो आप कुछ भी ना करो, उसका कोई फायदा नहीं है लाइफ में. तो आप जैसे हो वो सबको पता होता है. तो वही फोटोग्राफी में भी है कि what you observe from people who are to offer you as mentors and what you observe and what you deliver on your final day is what matters. So it's hardcore. मतलब मेरे हिसाब से तो जैसे एक फौजी बनता है वैसे ही एक फोटोग्राफर मेरे स्कूल में बन रहा था उस टाइम तक. तो काफ़ी मुश्किल था और आपको रोज़ ही प्रूव करना होता था अपने आप को कि यार आई एम वर्थ इट, आई एम वर्थ. सो इट वुड स्टार्ट फ्रॉम जीरो अगेन एवरी डे. तो वो था. और वो मैं आपको स्टैट्स बताया कि 48 में से अगर 19 बच्चे आखिरी दिन एग्जीबिशन में खड़े हैं तो आप खुद सोचो ना, जो घर से लड़ झगड़ के आएगी यार मुझे फोटोग्राफर बनना है, नहीं हो पाया या जो भी रीजंस थे, थोड़ा तो मुश्किल था. बट ठीक है, हमारी भी जिद थी कि हमें करना है तो हमने किया. तो आपने पूछा था कि हाउ डिड यू ब्रेक
First,
हाँ,
yeah.
तो मेरे लिए सेट्स वो होते थे जब
That was a benchmark, you said.
दैट वाज द फर्स्ट थिंग. एंड व्हेन यू सी इट कि यार ओ ये करना है, तो आपको पता है कि यार हाँ 200 लोग सेट पे हैं और ये कैमरा होता है, ये लैपटॉप होता है, ऐसे ये लाइटिंग शाइटिंग. अच्छा, कमिंग फ्रॉम द बेस्ट स्कूल दिस वाज नॉट माय एवर थिंग क्योंकि ये मेरे को सिखा दिया गया था. तो वो मेरे लिए इतना चैलेंजिंग नहीं था. बट मैंने कहा यार इतने बड़ा लोग को हैंडल कैसे करना है, मतलब ये यू व्हेन यू आर अ फोटोग्राफर यू आर द कैप्टन ऑफ द शिप, राइट? एंड यू आर द डिसीजन मेकर ऑन योर सेट. मैंने कहा इतने लोगों को कैसे करना है. देन यू अंडरस्टैंड, अच्छा इट्स जस्ट नॉट अबाउट प्रेसिंग दैट बटन, देयर आर so many other things that go
Yeah.
with it. So you have to make a team, manage a team, convince to people, you should have good communication, the thousand other things that
Yeah.
you need to train.
Right.
तो मैंने सब पे थोड़ा थोड़ा काम किया. और कट टू जब मैं दिल्ली आया तो यार यहाँ पे एक अलग ही दुनिया थी. यहाँ पे मतलब आई मीन आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट हम करते हैं बट देन catalogs became creative lookbook suddenly. You don't know कि क्या हुआ.
With the start of like COVID, it
Yeah.
changed the whole dynamics.
But I'm very happy. Honestly, if I tell you, I'm very happy ki how the market changed and few people have in them to kind of, adapt with the new situation. And I think me being a little younger generation, I was more prone to understanding things, what's the need of the hour, and then breaking in accordingly. तो वो चीज़ आप समझे और आप यू गेट इन टू दिस एंड देन ऑफ कोर्स योर फर्स्ट सेकंड क्लाइंट, सो यार यू गेट इट बाय गॉड ग्रेस. और वो कोई बंदा आप पे इतना भरोसा करके पैसा लगा दे कि आप हाँ तू ये कर ले, वो बहुत बड़ी बात मानता हूँ मैं. तो मेरे जब पहले यहाँ पे मैं एक फोटोग्राफर है उनको असिस्ट करता था तो उन्होंने मेरे को 5 महीने में ही निकाल दिया. वो बोलते कि यार यू फकिंग नो एवरीथिंग, मतलब तुम्हें सब कुछ तो आता है, तुम यहाँ क्या कर रहे हो. तो मैंने बोला यार मेरे को निकालो मत, मतलब ऐसे. तो उन्होंने बोला नहीं नहीं, अगर मैं आपकी जगह होता तो मैं नहीं आता कल से. तो मैंने कहा यार ये तो गलत हो रहा है मेरे साथ. आई एम सो गुड दिस दैट, मेरे को ऐसे क्यों निकाल रहे हैं. बट वो बहुत, it was a very kind gesture. And you need that little push. The photographer pushed me saying yeah, you are very good to go on your own, start. And touchwood, God has been kind. From the next day I started my journey and I started shooting. 6th August 2020 was my first hardcore advertising commercial shoot that I started with. It was for Manish Malhotra in Delhi. And cut to today, I'm quite happy and there are no complaints being a
You should not
photographer.
complain because I mean I want to clarify to everybody right now. I do the maths.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty good at maths.
Of course, you are.
Right. As per the maths which I have right now, I mean you are in that top 7 to 10% bracket. One of the most successful photographers in the younger space. Tracking your progress of last 2 3 years, you're doing phenomenally well. Trust me on that front. Because when I see the photographers, when I see these newbies, new players coming into the market, really good art form, really good photography. I mean, they're doing quite good for themselves, keeping, considering where they have learned from and all that. I mean, you know how this industry works in the fashion and advertising space. No matter which school you study in and all that, as in whatever course you have opted for, the way to enter in this industry is, I personally feel, is like the way it has been working till date is you technically assist somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody well-renowned photographer.
Yeah.
And I mean assist for good 2, 3, 5, 7 years. I think I've seen the cases where the photographers assisted for 10 years as well,
Right.
and then start the career. On the contrary, you went to a school, you studied, you came back, you assisted a photographer for like 4, 5 months, and bang on next day, next week, you started your
Yeah.
journey, right? And you're doing phenomenally well. I mean, the kind of work you have done in the commercial field.
Thanks.
And I think, I mean, if I'm not wrong, the first project which we did, I think SD made us meet together. Is like,
Yeah, it's a very funny it's a very very funny this thing that how we met. I would like to tell also. तो मैं उन्हीं फोटोग्राफर के साथ वो स्टूडियो में आता था शूट करने और मैं उनको असिस्ट करता था. तो मैंने बड़ा नाम सुना था कि यार यहाँ पे अच्छा मेरे को कुछ पता नहीं था दिल्ली में काम कैसे होता. मुझे एक्चुअली पता ही नहीं था कि काम कैसे होता है. मेरे स्कूल ने मेरे को ट्रेन फोटोग्राफर तो बना दिया था बट देन देयर सर्टेन थिंग्स दैट यू फिगर आउट योरसेल्फ. तो वो हमारी ट्रेनिंग थी. तो जब मैं यहाँ आया तो मैंने कहा यार ये है कौन, हु इज दिस गाय धनंजय, बिकॉज आई हैव नेवर सीन, आई हैव जस्ट हर्ड. सो जब मैं आता था तो मैंने एक दो बार आपसे बात करी, मिले हम, तो मुझे लगा कि यार you know same breed types, something like something clicked. I don't know if it clicked in you or not, but I think with my profession, the kind of profession I am in, I have started understanding people a little more now, engaging them. तो मेरे को लग गया था कि यार कुछ तो है क्लिक. उसके बाद कट टू आई वाज it was my first independent shoot in your studio, and I was shooting and then suddenly you came and I said hi, and you just didn't reply. You just came and saw my screen. आप मेरी स्क्रीन देखी और आप चले गए. तो मैंने कहा यार ये क्या आदमी है, मतलब इसने हाई भी नहीं बोला. तो मैंने कहा अच्छा जो सुना है मतलब सही सुना होगा मैंने. होते होंगे ऐसे. तो उसके बाद मेरे को याद है उसके बाद हमने हमने लंच ब्रेक लिया और 3 साढ़े 3 बजे तक मैं पैकअप कर रहा था. तो मेरा लास्ट शॉट ही चल रहा था. यू केम अगेन. आई सेड कब कि कैसे हो. मैं दोबारा बात करने की कोशिश करी तो आपने फिर मेरी स्क्रीन देखी और मेरे को बोलते हो कि यार पैकअप के बाद मेरे ऑफिस में मिलना. तो मैंने कहा यार ये क्या आदमी है, मतलब बात ही नहीं कर रहा है सीधा ऑफिस. एंड देन आई थिंक यू ऑल्सो रिमेंबर दैट नाइट वाज वेरी नाइस, लाइक सिंस फॉर सो वी स्पोक वेल एंड वी डिडंट स्पीक अबाउट एनीथिंग व्हिच वाज to do with work. Honestly, we just spoke about who I am as a person.
Honestly speaking, I mean, being honest, I don't know, maybe people can call me biased on that word, but I pick a person based on how the person has been raised philosophically.
True.
Right? What was the upbringing about?
I agree.
Right? How was the life about? Right? Yes, I do produce gigs, projects where I have to go with the wave and say, "Ki, is photographer se karna hai," and all that. But I think evaluate it on a very different front because I understand we are a 1.4 billion population. One,
Yeah.
I understand there is so much content. Second, evaluating a piece of content, a visual image, is very subjective. Is very subjective. What can work as a real art form might not work for my audience, for my end customer, and I might not be able to generate sales or revenue based on
True,
that.
I
So it's very different. So I mean, I don't push that much. I pick up people who are really, really self-aware that what are they doing in their lives, right? I literally don't. One of the things which I remember, like I could connect with you is, work should be there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the awareness is such that work is a part of life.
Yes.
It's not life in totality. It's just a part of life. There is much more to it. And if I remember the kind of conversations I usually have with it, I think the longest conversations I have with one is you, and other is Tarun Garg.
Yeah.
I mean, I can speak to Tarun on phone call for like 1.5, 2 hours. Easy. Like we just spoke like last week and we spoke for like good 1.4, 1 hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, 50 minutes. Because it's, see, let me tell you one thing. I mean, before this interview we were starting, we just had a discussion in the office specifically saying that the definition is the amalgamation, the success in this industry. But the definition is the amalgamation of your art form, visual form, and PR/marketing/branding/communication. Right? You have to find a middle ground. I have seen artists, really good artists, failing in this country. I'm talking about photography, right? I'm talking about the direction, the cinematography, like the sound design. So you have to balance it out. And I think you were one of those people where I could connect and say, "Oh, no, यार, ये अपने type का बंदा है." This is
I
what you
think
just
मैं
said, that
वही
you
बोल
have
रहा
the
हूँ ना
same
कि वो
breed.
कुछ तो
So yeah,
click था।
अपने type का बंदा है, and he knows what he's doing,
यही मैंने आपको
right?
पहले बोला, जब आपने मेरे से फोटोग्राफी के बारे में पूछा तो मैंने बोला देखो दो तरीके की हैं। एक है कमर्शियल एडवर्टाइजिंग जो हम कर रहे हैं, अभी मैं कर रहा हूँ। दूसरी है वो आर्ट फॉर्म जिसमें बहुत लेजेंडरी लोग हैं, बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं, बट उसके उसके साथ कुछ ना कुछ यू कॉल सर्टन, आई नो बिकॉज वी हैव बोथ स्टडीड इंजीनियरिंग, कैटलिस्ट। यू तो जो कैटलिस्ट बहुत ज़रूरी है, और वो कैटलिस्ट कुछ भी हो सकता है। आपका understanding what the business is, why you are being called, what is the problem that you have to solve through your medium, and delivering on time. उसके अलावा taking care of everybody and don't be high-headed about anything in life
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
तो ये चार पांच चीज़ें हैं जो काफ़ी important है apart from just pressing the button.
yeah.
क्योंकि ये सच्चाई तो हम सभी जानते हैं कि कौन कितना अच्छा क्या कर सकता है in terms of techniques or lighting और ये और वो. This is all secondary. First is what kind of a person you are.
And yeah, I mean,
That
I
matters
completely
the
agree.
most.
Yeah, yeah. Because I've seen it. I mean, what has not worked for me as a producer or a fellow photographer, as in the sort of imagery, has worked fantabulously well for my client
Yeah.
for whatsoever reasons, maybe the target audience, maybe the
Yeah.
visibility, maybe the placement, timing and everything. So I used to be like very aggressive on the floor. 5 years back, yes. I mean, the ones who have worked with me, who have interned with me, who have been with me
I
as
know.
in sort of clients and all that, I've been very aggressive. I've been very calm now because I
Yeah.
understand that, yes, as you just rightly said, that photographer is the captain of the ship. So I'm like, yes, uh, I can be the catalyst, I can be the
Yes.
fuel, right? But let them do their thing,
Yes.
right? And I think they can do it well, and they do it well. That is the reason I've been trying to disconnect myself. Yes, wherever the sanctity is very much required on the floor.
Right.
I want everybody to be aligned for what we are doing. It cannot be a just a setup where you're doing gossip throughout the day and just saying that, you know what, this is not working or that is not working out. Be clear of what you're looking for.
Right.
That is very important. So yeah, I mean, that is the thing. But tell me one thing, right? Uh, you are one of those photographers who has technically entered in the digital space right now.
Yeah.
You don't have any journey of the hardcore mainline print ATL activities and all that. Digital is something which is going for the masses. Digital is something which is having a quick turnaround time where the visibility, the whole if you look at the whole spectrum of it, you're pushing a content today, piece of image or a reel or a video for a brand, for a private label, for any specific designer or whatsoever. It's 48 to 70 hours, 72 hours of visibility, the breathing space, and gone. So how do you handle it? How does one handle it, right? Because we saw the market before 2020
Yeah.
and we are seeing the market after COVID, after 2020. It has changed completely. I mean, how does it function? Like, how do you work it out? Because I understand that you come from that school of thought where you have learned from the best. Gowarikar sir is one of the great examples. I've met this guy. I'm a fan of him. Uh, 4, 5 main key visuals a day, right? KVs a day. Cut to you come to Delhi and there are like 40, 30, 25 shots. How does it work out?
यार मैं वही बताया ना कि if I am the captain of the ship and you're putting money on me, then it's my responsibility to get the shoot done in one shift.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us just don't take the responsibility of it कि यार पैसा चाहे मेरा हो या आपका हो या किसी का भी हो, पैसा पैसा है, राइट? और वो किसी पे लग रहा है, then there has to be a return to investment.
Yes.
So मैं ये बहुत जल्दी सीख गया था अपनी लाइफ में कि यार there is a huge costing that goes when we come on set as heroes.
Yeah.
तो अब उसको या तो ग्लैम कर लो या आप उसको यू जस्ट बी अ प्रोफेशनल ऑन सेट एंड यू फिनिश एवरीथिंग ऑन
Yeah.
टाइम, यू रैप अप एवरीथिंग ऑन टाइम एंड यू गिव अ हाई फाई टू एवरीबडी एंड यू गो होम एंड स्लीप. तो ये चीज़ें विद टाइम एंड एज And of course, the important thing is technology also changed. 5 शॉट होते थे, nobody is denying. बट वो टाइम वो था जब पोलरॉइड्स पे आपका टेस्ट शॉट निकलता था, एक क्रिएटिव डायरेक्टर बैठते थे, वो बोलते थे कि यार ये नहीं ऐसे कर लो। वो टाइम अलग था जब 5 शॉट होते थे, क्योंकि मीडियम अलग थी ना। आजकल विद ऑल द लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी, आपको पता है कि आप इफ यू शूटिंग फास्ट देन यू कैन शूट मोर, एंड also the shelf life of any product as in digital asset that we create as photographers is very limited. पहले वो 5 शॉट इसलिए 5 शॉट भी होते थे कि पहली तो मीडियम, दूसरी उसको उस 5 शॉट को पूरे इंडिया में लेके जाना was a big
The
task because of
distribution,
print.
yeah,
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 the distribution and anything. आजकल with just one click it's on the internet and you it is always there.
yeah.
तो इसमें मतलब there is nothing to romanticize or to criticize or to this thing, but you should also give it to the fact that the technology has also improved. If the technology has improved and it gives you the capability of doing a little more than what the earlier people on films used to do, then why not?
So talking about the technology right now, we have seen the influx of Midjourney, Adobe Firefly, and all that, the AI integration and all that. I've been speaking to a couple of senior
Yeah,
photographers as well, and they have mixed reactions to this situation. How do you take this AI right now,
I
for
think
as a photographer?
for me it's good because there are certain things, again, with good stuff comes up a thing which is known as costs to the project. If something which is not, you are able to do, actually you can take the help of the AI.
Yeah,
But again, I would see it as a tool. You can't train a AI eye as I have trained my eye. It's simple.
agree.
And मतलब जब तक मेरे बाल सफ़ेद होंगे तब तक जो मैं देखूंगा अपनी आंखों से, वो आई डोंट थिंक विल बी एबल टू इंटर, दैट दे इट कांट बी इंटरफेस इनटू एआई एनीवेज। दूसरा क्या है कि मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि हमें we have stopped taking inspirations from the real life around us, and we have gone on to that 5.5 inch screen and have started working everything in and around it, which is not good, which is not bad, but in somewhere in between, right? तो अब आपको उसको, it's a medium. Again, AI is a medium that can be used very nicely by photographers to probably create mood boards, to probably create the post treatment, to probably create how, and different time of the days how a place can look like, and you go and you execute. But again, I am not very afraid of AI right now, like how most
Yeah,
of the
same.
industry
I
is.
mean, one doesn't need to be afraid, but yeah, it's a great tool.
See, it has always been there.
Yeah.
मतलब मैं कोई इतना बड़ा पुराना फोटोग्राफर तो हूँ नहीं कि सब चीज़ें हाथों से ही करी हैं हमने in terms of dark room. I have always seen Photoshop, and for me it was AI only, honestly. You can do magic in Photoshop, but
Yeah.
now it is just upgraded
Introduce
as
some
time. Yeah.
next level.
So you just use it as a tool
Yeah.
to maybe deliver more faster, to maybe produce more stuff for your clients, uh, to maybe doing something that you think on actual costing will be very very high or expensive. You can take the help of that tool and kind of do it.
Because yeah, obviously the detailing is
But I'm sure, yeah, you can't train AI to see how I see things or how you see the thing,
true.
right?
True.
I mean, it's a tool. If
But and it's still in a very nascent stage. You don't know where it's gonna lead.
yeah, if you use it right, I'm sure
You train
it'll be in our kitties with everybody.
Yeah, right. I mean, who knows that there will be an AI integrated in your next Sony, Canon, or Nikon.
You never know.
Right, you never know.
You never
The way you have these presets and all that in all the cameras these days, you might be having these kind of tools.
Right.
Right. Yes, that's one. Second is, I mean, how do you see, like, being commercially successful, right? You are in your 20s. You want to be a photographer. You come from a small town, uh, and I mean, you are entering in one of the mega cities, one of the metro cities in India, like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore. These are the major cities where the photography is happening and all that. How do you balance it out? How does it work actually? Like, what are those tips, tricks that you enter in a market and you want to do something, but at the same time you want to do something big, but at the same time you have to pay your monthly bills.
Right.
How does one survive? What is a survival instinct like?
I mean, see, I, success is quite. I mean, definitions of success varies, right?
Right.
For अब किसी के लिए सक्सेस सिर्फ नंबर्स हो सकता है, किसी के लिए सक्सेस सिर्फ नंबर ऑफ डेज ऑफ शूट हो सकता है, किसी के लिए सिर्फ क्लाइंट्स हो सकते हैं। तो सक्सेस की तो कोई डेफिनेशन, मतलब जितना मैं अभी तक समझा हूँ, कोई है नहीं। it should be contentment कि यार, are you content with what you're doing, or are there something that you want to do more, or are there some complaints that मुझे ये भी करना था बट मुझसे नहीं हुआ, जो भी है। सबके अलग चेक बॉक्स होते हैं और सब अलग तरीके से उसको चेक करते हैं। मेरा तो बड़ा सिंपल सा फंडा ये था हमेशा से कि आई हैड अ 5 year प्लान, एंड व्हेन आई हैड अ 5 year प्लान आई वाज व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड, मैं थोड़ा सा अग्रेसिव तो था ही अपने करियर्स को लेके कि यार मेरे को ऐसे, जो हमने पहले बात करी थी कि यार आपको अपनी फैमिली को कन्विंस करके आपने एक काम किया, आपने एक नई एजुकेशन ली, अच्छा वो भी आपको प्रूफ करना है, राइट? तो इतना तो मतलब है नहीं कि आई एम नॉट दैट प्रिविलेज्ड। ऑफ कोर्स आई हैव ऑलवेज बीन कंफर्टेबल थैंक्स टू माय मदर एंड फादर, बट वो जो प्रिविलेज वाला जो होता है वो नहीं था हमारा। वी कम फ्रॉम अ वेरी स्मॉल टाउन। माय दादू यूज्ड टू बी अ फार्मर, देन माय डैड वाज द फर्स्ट जनरेशन हु गॉट अस टू द सिटी लाइफ्स, एंड देन टू एन लेवल वेयर टुडे ही इज़ प्राउड सेइंग कि हाँ यार जाओ, आपको जो करना है वो करो, टाइप सिचुएशन थी हमारी भी। तो आपको कुछ तो उनको भी यू हैव टू गिव बैक एंड यू हैव टू शो अ लिटिल दिस थिंग। तो मैं थोड़ा अग्रेसिव था अपने करियर को लेके पहले कि यार नहीं, आई विल जस्ट मेक इट हैपन टाइप्स। तो वो चेक बॉक्स जो 5 year प्लान था, समहाउ बाय गॉड ग्रेस इट हैपेंड इन 1 year। तो मैंने कहा यार ये तो हो गया, अब आगे क्या? तो वैसे ही होता है। फिर उसके बाद जो बैलेंस की बात हुई, फिर वो मेरे को समझ में आया कि यार एक बैलेंस बहुत ज़रूरी था।
Yeah.
तो उस बैलेंस को मैं भी शायद अभी फिगर आउट कर रहा हूँ। बट हाँ, बिकॉज हमारी इंडस्ट्री इतनी, आई थिंक इट्स अ वेरी वेरी गुड इंडस्ट्री टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ। सो इफ यू गुड एट योर वर्क, पीपल विल कॉल यू टू सॉल्व देयर प्रॉब्लम्स।
Yeah.
अगेन आई मीन लेट्स नॉट, मैं तो हमेशा सबको यही बोलता हूँ कि यार फोटोग्राफर इज वेरी लेटर बट आई एम अ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्वर फर्स्ट। इफ
Yeah.
somebody calls me, yeah, this is my problem, you come and
And
solve
most of the time, it's all about solving a problem.
it. Is not most of the time, it is 100%
Yeah.
solving that one particular problem that everybody is
Because a lot of
facing.
people come into I mean, photographers are like, I'm not just blaming a particular community or like
Yeah.
vertical, but you just come with your own entourage and you try to create a fuss around it. Trust me, it's a very simple situation. It requires a very simple solution, and you overcomplicate it with so many things, and you make it such a overhyped thing, process or execution which was not technically required at first place. I see it, and
It happens. It
I've been a
happens.
part of those projects as well.
मेरे को लाइटमैन आजकल बोलते हैं कि सर आप मतलब थोड़ा सेट पे ना आतंक मचाया करो। मैंने कहा आतंक मतलब? तो बोलता है कि सर वो फोटोग्राफर होते हैं, वो बुलाते हैं कि ये भी लगाओ, वो भी लगाओ, वो भी लगाओ, ये
And
भी
it's not
लगाओ।
required.
तो मैंने बोला यार ये कौन है? तो बोलता है सर क्या बात कर रहे हो, सब करते हैं, आप भी क्या करो। तो मैंने कहा यार जब मेरे को लाइट एक लगानी है तो मैं एक लाइट पे काम करूंगा। तो बोलते नहीं सर बट
Yeah.
मतलब आप एक वो तो बनाओ अपना कि दैट टेरिटरी वेयर यू आर अनअप्रोचेबल एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट। सो आई एम नॉट दैट गाय। आई थिंक आई कैन नेवर बी दैट गाय who will work ever like that. But you are right, there is something which a lot of people carry and they are unapproachable, and I think I'm not one of them, and I'm proud of it. Ki, for example, a producer can come up to me and say this is not working bro, like what to do. A stylist can come and say this is my problem, I don't know, and then you solve it together on a
Yeah.
set, and you finish the job and you are happy, the client is happy and everybody. तो मेरा तो थोड़ा काम करने का तरीका वैसा है। मेरा वो कभी तरीका था ही नहीं कि मतलब मैं हूँ जो हूँ टाइप्स। इट इज़ वेरी सिंपल फॉर मी।
Tell us about your hospitality segment. You happen to shoot with the the largest chains, the best hotel group in the world, Taj Properties. I mean, how did it start?
आई मीन जब हम स्कूल में थे तो वेरी गुड फ्रेंड चिराग एंड माई बैचमेट,
Yeah.
वी बोथ स्टार्टेड दिस थिंग टुगेदर सेइंग कि यार ये शायद थोड़ी मतलब ऐसी चीज़ है जहाँ पे 1 + 1 नीड्स टू बी 11। सो वी केम टुगेदर फॉर दिस एंटायर थिंग, and it's a very perfect mix and balance of both of us that kind of comes together, and the end product is beautiful. I I'm very happy that I kind of tapped into hospitality sector because मेरे को कभी लगा नहीं था कि मैं कभी hospitality touch करूँगा. It happened here. I was sitting with a very renowned name in hospitality sector, and again, they sat across me on a breakfast table, and they were just talking about their hotel. So I said, यार ऐसा क्या है मतलब? Show me the images that you guys have. तो उनको आई थिंक उनको शायद हर्ट हो गया या कुछ हो गया. तो उन्होंने बोला कि आप you don't know what we produce as content or as images or this or that. I said, no, I don't know. तो उन्होंने बोला कि मैं आपको भेजती हूँ, आप देखो. तो उन्होंने जो मेरे को दिखाया तो मैं थोड़ा हंसने लग गया. मैंने कहा यार ये क्या है? ये there's nothing in it. There's no narration. There is no narrative in it. There is no story in it. You are such a legendary brand. This that जो भी था मतलब. खैर ये कुछ ज़्यादा हो जाएगा if I start telling all the things. तो ऐसा हुआ. तो मेरे ख्याल से उन जो सामने मेरे बैठे थे उनको थोड़ा सा हर्ट हुआ शायद कि यार ये कौन है. Like who's this guy who's telling me upfront that this is not working in these images. And again, it came, I think, because of my experience and understanding brands and businesses and the kind of guests that these luxurious hotels get into. Because I am not that guy, I'm a very desi guy. But I think now with my career in hospitality, I always say to people that, I'm that guy who sells the idea of luxury to luxurious people in the end.
Right.
Just because I think I can understand the product better, and I have an engagement with almost all the people who are at the back of it, and I kind of understand how their numbers work and what actually a guest needs, or what actually I will need if I go and pay such a premium price to a property. So usse pehle hospitality was always short with this thing of a room and a furniture in it. So I kind of broke, me and Chirag, when we understood it, we kind of broke into the segment and started creating stories in that room with that furniture and some human elements and things around it. And I think that is what was needed post COVID, when the hotels were about to restart and the businesses were about to restart. And I think it just happened at the right time. And with everything uh, put together, I think we ended up taking some good images for the same person who was across the table. And then he understood what a new eye can get onto the table. And I think that was my first break into hospitality. But again, I would say that, it happened because I performed on the parameters that I was talking about, and I was able to execute it the same way how I pitched it. And that is what turned the tables around, and it was recognized, and people kind of liked it, enjoyed it. And उसके बाद फिर how the journey is, वो तो फिर
Yeah.
हो जाता
You technically shot for more than 150 days last year for them. More than 100 days.
I am a little unsure, but on an average, I shot about 250 days last year. So होगा उतना.
That's 150 days. That's great.
I kind of shot, me and Chirag, we shot about 13-14 properties in 1 year, which I think is an achievement.
It is an achievement because honestly speaking, like I've seen photographers who shoot the best of the best hospitality groups. It has taken them quite a time to reach.
See,
there, right?
I don't know. I mean, I respect everybody, but I would again say that I just understood the problem and I kind of solved it my way, and which was easy going and not being a pain in the ass to 10 other people around, and just solving that problem and giving them a desired result what they
How does it
wanted.
function? Because in a hospitality shoot, it's like you as a photographer, as a creative eye, and rest everybody is gonna play the tune as per your requirement, and they're gonna set everything for you. Cut to fashion. 10 different opinions. I personally say there's a very nice quote. Like the fashion is one of those industries where even the driver of the client would be having an opinion on the makeup and hair.
I mean,
Model.
you are right, because unfortunately we have come to a situation.
No, I'm not just like discarding somebody, but I'm not.
No, I
saying
know
it,
what you're
like,
saying. I know what you're
but
saying.
you know it. Everybody has an opinion, right?
See, technically, if you think of it, all the good images of fashion has always happened in front of a background. If you think of any good photographer,
Yeah.
be it Richard Avedon, be it Annie Leibovitz,
I'm a
people who
fan
have
of levels
Yeah.
and
We just
yeah,
see those images. Those are narrative images in front of a background.
yeah,
And back in the days when it was just used to be black and white.
yeah. The
I
whole
mean, it's
Testino series of
the Mayo
yeah,
Testino
yeah.
series. Cut to today, where we have just, I don't know, I mean, it's the need of the hour or what, but we have just overcomplicated fashion.
That's what I'm saying.
We have
As a
overcomplicated
community, as a producer, I also believe the same.
to an extent,
We
I don't know.
oversell.
We overhype. We don't even oversell. We overhype and we
Yeah.
underdeliver. Is I think my opinion onto it. But then you balance it out with your craft. What is the need of the hour? What's the budgets?
Mm.
What's the shelf life of those images? You balance out everything and then you present it to the client saying, yeah, I think this will work. And touchwood, they also understand because they are into business. They understand ki, हाँ यार, I think this will work, and that's how you balance today's fashion. Because I don't know, it's just getting wild as a
It's
fashion
getting
as a
wild
as a
because
fashion market.
I see the kind of volume Delhi market has been handling,
Yeah.
and obviously a couple of colleagues back in Mumbai and Bangalore as well.
Right.
Uh, the whole fashion segment, the fashion photography, fashion industry, as
Yeah.
in terms of visual content getting delivered, it has gone at least 2.5x in the last 3 years. At
Yes.
least 2.5x.
I agree.
I know photographers who technically shoot fashion 300 days a year,
No, I know.
more than 300 days a year.
I know what you're saying. And even I know people in our fraternity because I am good friends with photographers around
Mhm.
and they do it.
Yeah.
But my only question and concern is that where are we heading
Mhm.
with that kind of images or assets that we are creating? If it has to just end up, being a sellable product, then I understand. But again, I would suggest here there are very limited people who are actually performing fashion in and around. And I'm not saying I'm one of them because I'm not. But there are certain limited amount of people that you can count who are actually very, very nice as
I
a
mean, if you
fashion
talk about the
concept.
photographers, fashion, advertising, like which all photographers you usually take inspiration from, or like you like particularly, I like their body of work, the whole line of work, whatever they're doing.
So देखो मैंने पहले ही बोला मैं बड़ा देसी आदमी हूँ so
Mm.
I am always inspired by the Indian people.
No, there is no harm. I mean, we have the
Yeah.
best photographers in the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Kiwal is one of them.
Yes.
He turns around magic.
Yeah.
I was lucky
Same
that
goes for Bharat Sikka sir as well.
Bharat Sikka sir as well. I have been lucky that I've met both of them.
You
And
made me introduced to the Prabhudas Gupta's work as well. I got
yeah,
inspired from him as well.
yes.
Yeah.
तो प्रभुदा का काम बहुत अच्छा है दो
Mm.
I've never I was I mean मैं मिला नहीं हूँ उनसे
Mm.
बट अब तो बट उनका काम बहुत अच्छा है तो मिस्टर खिवाल सर एक ऐसे हैं who just turns around things so beautifully
Yeah.
without complicating it,
Mm.
be it advertising, be it fashion. And he has also done some fantastic work for limited amount of hospitality sector. Then Mr. Kedar Marigaonkar is one brilliant person, and again, very simple approach to things and beautiful work. Then in the other people that I really like is what's his name here? Bikunjit.
Yeah.
The fashion work that he is
Mm.
doing. I mean,
Mm.
I take a lot of inspiration from. So simple, so crisp, nice. Mr. Ashisha is one.
Yeah.
I mean, you just see their work and you kind of feel कि यार these are the things which is a balance of everything. And probably somewhere deep down, even I try and balance everything and kind of
Hmm.
put out a body of work which people like and talk about.
Yeah.
So it's simple. I have not studied fashion. I have not studied hospitality, but then you keep learning, you keep uh, learning and then unlearning and then learning and
That's
then
the process.
executing. It's a
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
It's a never-ending process. Perfection is a myth, like I
Yeah.
always say. You keep building onto it and you find out ways to uncomplicate things and just keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's that for me.
No, I completely agree on that front. Like, um, I mean, if some new photographer is coming and meeting me right now and saying that, we're not getting the work in the market, we're not able to connect with a particular client, or numbers are not working and all that. I tell you my journey, like when people
Yeah.
used to come to me and I started my journey was like, people would come and say that, you're undercharging.
Oh,
Right. So as a producer, I was charging like five figures or whatever, like smaller amount. And then people would go and say, you are spoiling the market. That was the narrative
oh
which
my
was
God.
said, right? And happened to call somebody, and I was like, he's like, no, people talk about you. You should be happy about it. Because people have started talking about you. So don't take it in a negative way. And cut to, I met this chap recently. He started this production house like 5, 6 months back. Uh, Called Augustine Productions, Rahul, this guy. He's doing fantabulously well. And he came to me and he's like, this is what I'm charging. And that was the exact amount which I used to charge like 4 or 5 years back.
Right.
I said, good for you.
Right.
It's good. Because he has a certain skill set.
Yeah.
And as per that skill set, he's charging a certain amount.
Right.
So market should not tell you what to charge. I think it's your inner gut where you feel that you should charge this amount for this kind of work. And I mean, it's good. Like if you are having certain skill sets, and this is the ticket size, and as per the ticket size, you are making good enough money. I think good enough. That's how one starts the journey. I mean, I don't think somebody should come and say, "Ki Prateek, you are overcharging or undercharging," because I mean, you are one of those guys who are charging a six figure in hospitality sector right now for a day job, right? So, cut to I see the younger chap. He's like, "Sir, इतने में budget नहीं हो रहा, इतने budget नहीं हो रहा." I'm like, I think that if the job is right and you'll be able to create some good content which will go to the wider audience, I think you should do the job. I don't think I'm the right one to set the figure for you, to set the number for you. And I personally feel that it's trained in a very wrong format. Sorry, I'm discarding this whole thing right now, but trust me, nobody should tell you what to charge. That's what I strongly
I
believe in.
mean, I agree what you're saying, but मेरा इस पे जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग है वो मैं आपको बता देता हूँ कि मेरा अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्या था, क्योंकि ये क्वेश्चन हमारे पास भी था व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड कि यार व्हाट टू चार्ज. Nobody knows, nobody tells you what to charge. So you do your research, you do your contemporaries, so-called contemporaries, that this is the kitty that people are catering to, and you place yourself somewhere close to it, a little higher, a little lower, in between, whatever. You place it like that. Plus, you should also understand the nature of job you're doing,
Yeah.
the kind of digital assets, the shelf life that digital asset has. You have to cater to the costs. Unfortunately, like I told, I respect it a lot, uh, and you kind of come out with a costing where you make a little bit of money and you kind of execute the project and everybody is happy.
Yeah.
So I think it has to be a perfect balance as to what you're doing, what's the shelf life of that asset,
Content.
which we call as usage, and why are we doing it for, and what's the revenue generating capacity of that asset, and you place yourself. And I'm 200% sure that when you're sitting with a business and you tell them that this is what I think is right, I mean everybody caters to it.
Yeah,
But you have to be very sensible and mindful into what you're charging.
but at the same time, I personally feel that not everybody has that kind of awareness. They will take some sort of time, right? I mean,
यार वो
you
जनरल
won't.
अप्रोच है कि
हाँ.
hi, I got your number, or I found you online, or I found you on Instagram, I saw your website, what are your commercials? I mean, that's a very wrong approach, first of all, to any artist or any photographer or any form of guy associated with us. You don't charge like that, unfortunately.
No, I mean, I also get these kind of calls. I get these kind of calls. We have to do an outdoor shoot. What are your charges?
I
Like,
mean,
for what exactly?
एग्जैक्टली हम लंदन जा रहे हैं, पेरिस जा रहे हैं, केनिया जा रहे हैं, या फिर हम आपके घर के बाहर वाले गार्डन में
गार्डन
शूट
में
कर रहे हैं.
आपके कमरे में शूट करवा रहे हो.
हाँ,
बस पैसे नहीं है. So, so yes, I completely. I mean, we are aligned on that front. But at the same time, that's what I'm saying is like nobody should tell you. That's what I'm trying to say. Nobody should tell you कि यार Prateek, this is what you should charge. No, Prateek, if you feel like you want to charge 50 grand a day right now, charge 50 grand a day. Tomorrow, if you think your value is 5 lakhs a day, charge 5 lakhs a day.
मेरे को लगता है वो वक्त आपको खुद ही बता देता है आपका.
Exactly.
It's a body of work that you carry around, and people pay for it.
For a newcomer, what do you suggest?
Yeah, for a newcomer, I would just suggest that start shooting first.
Yeah.
This is a very secondary thing. I'm telling you, in this industry, we are blessed. Money is a byproduct of your work.
Yeah.
This is my belief. I have never chased money. I have never chased money in my past 2 years. I have never, and I'm being very honest to everybody, I've never chased money. I just wanted to do good work with good people. That was my only aim. And money was a byproduct of it.
Yeah.
Because of that, you understand कि यार तुम्हारी क्या अहमियत है या तुम्हारी क्या वैल्यू है तुम्हारा, and then you start distributing your time accordingly, right?
Yeah.
And then again, because I mean, like I told you, there are two type of photography. One is where you run your house, bread and butter, which is hardcore advertising, and the other one is where you just do photography for your soul, which is like food for your soul and not for your table. तो उसमें तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, मेरे को ऐसा लगता है people just come up together and produce good work. और उसमें पैसा इतना मैटर भी नहीं करता जो दूसरा पार्ट है, पहले वाले में मैटर करता है यार, देयर इज कॉस्ट टू एवरीथिंग, राइट? And you should understand that what kind of assignment it is, and you have to place yourself very feasible in the market, saying that, you know, this is my pricing, this is my execution fee, this is my usage charge, this is my loyalty fee if I'm not working with any competition, and this is the recce charges, this is the post-production charges. So you divide in and around your costings like that it makes easy for people to understand. If I present you a costing saying these are the 15 segments that I charge for, which starts from a, you know, sitting for a PPM to finally delivering the project with my data management. If you break it down everything, and if you put a feasible number in front of it, it doesn't matter if the number in the total comes out to be higher, because you've given the feedback, you've given the breakdown. Yeah, this is the breakdown, and people understand. In today's day and age, whoever is sitting in our industry understand what are the pricing for what, and then it doesn't actually, you know, create a fuss. So I agree, your creative fee can vary depending on what you want, and nobody tells you what to charge, but you can't be, you know, illogical and super greedy in other segments, because everybody knows the costings for it, and we live in an internet age, everybody knows what goes around.
Client does the half of your job these days. They come to you and say कि वो photographer तो इतना charge कर रहा है, तुम इतना क्यों कर रहे हो?
अच्छा, मुझे नहीं पता ये सब,
Oh, it's so stupid यार. I see
मुझे नहीं
clients
पता ये सब.
literally coming to me saying that this producer is charging this much. Deep respect, couple of fellow producers in the market. Deep respect for everybody. I love I respect the hustle of everyone. But literally, one of these clients clocking around 1,000 crores plus of revenue every year. I'm talking about a brand, and this person calls me and says that, you know, we want to do a digital campaign. I said, cool. They said, what are you costing? Like this is the costing. This is a ballpark costing. Plus minus 5-7% works, because I understand the maths.
Estimate. You don't give a costing. कि यार ये है, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं, इससे कम नहीं. You give an estimate to people कि यार ये है.
And you're like, you know, this person is doing doing at 50% lower cost, and this other person is doing 30%. I said, cool, get it done with them. It's like, oh, but then eventually we can't work together, right? I said, no, we can work together, provided you match my number.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to work on that thing. So now the tables have turned. I have been kind of person like, I'm very specific for corporate. So say if I'm doing a corporate film and all, if I'm directing a film, I charge a fixed six-figure number. That's set. I won't go below six figure as my fee for a corporate, because that's my forte. I personally believe.
Yeah.
I understand the aesthetics of lifestyle, and I understand how startups, corporates, B2B works.
Of course.
I synergize both. I'm not shooting much. I'm shooting 2 projects a year, but I'm very much happy.
Yeah.
Right, because this is what I'm building my monopoly or like my market for. But yeah, so clients do it. It's so stupid at times, but
अच्छा, मेरे साथ भी ऐसा होता है. मेरे को कॉल आती है and I start asking by random question, क्या बिजनेस है आपका, तो बताते हैं मतलब B2B है, B2C है, क्या बिजनेस है, क्या क्लाइंटेल है, क्या एज ग्रुप है, तो बोलता है यार ये कौन है,
कौन पूछ
ये कौन है, ये कौन है, मतलब am I talking to Prateek? I say, yeah, you're talking to me only. I just want to understand your nature of business so that we shoot it accordingly and we deliver what you actually need. I can't. I unfortunately people. I mean, मैं तो थक गया हूँ लोगों को बता के कि यार you can't shoot a cup of tea and a cup of expensive wine, or probably a glass of expensive wine, similar ways.
Yeah.
There are two different things to it.
Yeah.
So the costing will go up and down for the execution as well. And it is so I mean, this is the most time consuming thing for any freelancer photographer to make them understand that you can't treat everything the same way and unfortunately desire for different results. So that's one kind of also this thing that you have to keep educating your clients as well, because today probably I am in that position where I can say a right away no to a client, but then that client is going to go to some other photographer. So I do half of the job by telling them that no boss, that's not how it is done, this is how it is done.
Do you think there is certain set of insecurity, uh, that FOMO, that fear of missing out on the job? If I'm charging this amount and job might go to somebody else because the other one or the third person is charging 5-10% lesser than that or whatever amount.
Yeah,
Is there that fear?
FOMO, मतलब if you ask me personally, I'll tell you, फोमो तो नहीं है। दूसरी चीज, अगर कंपटीशन है तो कंपटीशन के पैरामीटर सेम होते हैं। यू डोंट विन अ कंपटीशन बाय लोअरिंग योर कॉस्ट, यू विन अ कंपटीशन ऑन द सेम कॉस्ट प्रोवाइडिंग अ बेटर रिजल्ट।
Yeah.
सो मेरे को मेरे लेट मेंटर मिस्टर भरत भिरंगी ने एक बार बोला था, जब मैं अपना फर्स्ट असाइनमेंट, मैंने बॉम्बे शर्ट कंपनी शूट किया था मुंबई में, तो वो बड़े शौकीन थे विस्की के, तो मैं उनके लिए विस्की लेके गया। मैंने बोला, सर मेरा पहला असाइनमेंट क्रैक हो गया है। तो बोलते हैं मुझे पता लगा मार्केट में। तो मैं बोला सर ये लेट्स हैव इट्स अ गिफ्ट फ्रॉम माय साइड टू यू। सो ही सेड और काम करो और तरक्की करो, हमारे भी क्लाइंट खा जाओ। तो मैंने बोला सर ऐसे कैसे, मतलब तौबा तौबा, ऐसा थोड़ी करेंगे हम। तो उन्होंने मेरे को बड़ा क्लियर एक चीज समझाई उस दिन कि तू कर सकता है। तो मैं बोला सर ऐसे कैसे, मतलब आपके क्लाइंट्स हैं। तो वो बोलते कि मेरा क्लाइंट मेरे पैसे पे मेरे से ले जा तो मैं आई विल बी अ वेरी प्राउड टीचर। मेरा क्लाइंट फ्री में लेके जाएगा कि मैं वो कर दूं, तो कहते फिर तो तू गाली खाने के काम ही कर रहा है। एंड ऑनेस्टली आई फील दैट्स आल्सो यू,
मेरे मार्केट प्राइस पे तो मेरा क्लाइंट तोड़, तब मानूंगा
तो
कि
बोलते हैं कि फिर मैं पार्टी दूंगा। तो आप सोचो कि आई हैव बीन ट्रेन्ड बाय सच पीपल, तो मेरे को फोमो कहाँ से होगा यार। तो वो मेरे को बोल रहे थे कि तू मेरे प्राइस टैग पे मेरा क्लाइंट लेके जा, मैं तेरे को पार्टी दूंगा, पर उस लायक बनो। वो तो अब वही वाली बात है ना कि अ, मतलब आप अपनी कॉस्टिंग कम करके किसी क्लाइंट के सामने ला रहे हो, तो आई आई थिंक यू आर जस्ट स्पॉइलिंग द मार्केट एंड यू आर lowering everybody's value. That's why I told you, like, I do half the job for the next photographer if I'm saying a no to a project, uh, by educating him ki, boss, that's not how it works, this is how it works. And I think it's hard, it's quite a time now that we should be, I mean, the entire industry should be dominating as per, not the client. I mean, the industry should be in that position to take decisions and not the clients. But unfortunately, it's the other way. And maybe because of that, the original talent sometimes gets beaten up by just the monopoly of how the market is run. So I am strongly in this thing where you start educating each and every client that comes to you, and just not by ghosting or absconding onto them कि यार ये मेरे तो costing match नहीं कर रहा है तो मैं बात ही नहीं करूंगा. It should not be like that. You should speak to the client. You should educate him.
So same is like, even if I'm not able to crack a certain project because of the numbers, because most of the time it's
Yeah,
like,
it happens.
budget ज़्यादा है तुम्हारा and all that, but I'm still in touch with the client. I understand exactly how can we improvise.
True.
Right?
I think that is what we need.
Right.
And that is what we as a community is lacking, I feel. क्योंकि फिर वही बातें होती है ना कि ए बंदा आया कि यार वो तो इतने में कर रहा है, अरे वो क्या कर रहा है इतने में, how is he doing or what is he doing or what have you actually asked for. तो वो सब चीज़ें थोड़ी सी हमारी अनरेगुलेटेड इंडस्ट्री है, उस वे से मेरे को लगता है कि it is each and everybody's responsibility to kind of do a little, drawing the lines and regulating it on personal level. And I think day is not far when everybody is regulating it, then we are in a better place as a entire industry. तो मेरा तो मानना ही है इस
It
चीज पे.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely understand. So that's, I mean, we spoke almost about your career, like how you started and all that. Let's talk about, how do you see yourself? It's a very stupid question at time, but How do you want to see yourself in the coming years? Like, do you want to create a monopoly, a sort of a niche, I would say, in the hospitality? You want to explore more of fashion? You want to do more of fine art, or like, how's it gonna pan out for
नहीं
you?
देखो, I think I am that guy who's carrying it. मतलब अगेन आई वुड गो बैक कि वो मेरे को अपने स्कूल की याद आती है कि उन्होंने मेरे को दे हैव ट्रेन मी टू शूट अ निडल टू अ हेलीकॉप्टर.
Hmm.
So my job is just as a I term myself as a photographer. I don't term myself as a fashion photographer or a hospitality photographer. I'm a guy who can shoot anything, for example. तो मैंने अभी तक तो आई हैव नॉट डिसाइडेड ऑन टू कि मैं सिर्फ एक ही काम करूँगा या यही करूँगा. आई एम क्वाइट वर्सटाइल एंड honestly, if you see, I don't know if you've seen it or not, like my personal body of work, I'm documenting a lot of sculptures in and around. I'm working with the Ministry of Defense, and I'm
Defense, yeah.
working on certain personal projects with the forces. So all this is going on side by
Which
side.
is your best assignment so far? Which you feel that, that day was contented?
Oh, like that. Mm, yeah, I think it's a question that's making me think, which means mostly, I mean, I'm quite happy and content with all the shoots.
All the shit.
But you remember your first second prints, you remember your first second hoardings, and thankfully we've done it together. My hoardings were when we worked together. So whenever I see something in print, I don't know, it just excites
It
me.
takes you.
It just excites me. And probably the first time you start seeing your work in magazines and you feel that you've made it or
You
you've
know that
done
my
it.
first job as a producer was for a brand which gained me a visibility in print space to a very much wider audience. My life's third project as a producer was with Ranbir Kapoor and
I know,
Shraddha. So I
Spencer's.
got the visibility like to that level, right? And then happened to like we shot this trends recently, which
Yeah.
the content is
Which is,
gonna
yeah,
be
which is
somewhere
pan
around
India.
2,400
Yes, it's
stores.
2400 stores. नहीं तो वही है कि
Yes, I understand because you're an outgoing person, right? I don't go out at all, so I hardly see hoardings.
I am outgoing person because of my profession. Now, थोड़ा बहुत जो मैं काम कर रहा हूँ उसकी वजह से मुझे इधर उधर जाने का मौका मिलता है, तो मैं जब जाता हूँ तो आई एम दैट गाय हु लव्स ट्रैवलिंग ऑन रोड्स. आई डोंट नो व्हाई. मुझे रोड्स पे ट्रैवल करना अच्छा लगता है, तो जब रोड्स पे जाते हो तो आपको होर्डिंग दिखते हैं. और कई बार ऐसा हुआ, मैं बोला ड्राइवर साहब गाड़ी रोको पीछे लो.
हाँ, so
मैं पीछे
same.
उतरा, मैंने कहा यार ये तो पिक्चर, अच्छा मेरा असिस्टेंट मोस्टली मेरे साथ ही रहता है, तो वो कहता अरे ये तो बॉस हमने उसके लिए शूट किया था, ये तो अपनी फोटो है. तो मतलब कई बार ऐसा भी होता है क्योंकि यू आई पुट अप इन दिल्ली, गुड़गांव, तो मैं टीयर 1 टीयर 2 बहुत कम जा पाता हूँ काम की वजह से. अगर मैं गया तो गया, तो वहाँ पे होर्डिंग्स की अभी भी नीश है, वहाँ पे होर्डिंग्स लगते हैं. और इतना डिजिटल नहीं हुआ है वहाँ पे हिसाब किताब, तो वहाँ पे जब होर्डिंग्स पे आप अपना काम देखते हो तो आपको लगता है वाह यार, you've done it, you give a tap on your shoulder and things like that. तो ऐसा मेरे साथ 3-4 बार हुआ है जहाँ आई वॉज अनअवेयर. और इनफैक्ट बहुत ही अच्छा इंसिडेंट है. मैं अपने फ्रेंड की शादी में लखनऊ गया, तो उसकी शादी में क्या खाना जल्दी ख़त्म हो गया, तो हम गए, हमने कहा यार कुल्फ़ी और फालूदा तुमने खाया ही नहीं, तो हम बाहर चले गए सारे दोस्त मिल के. हम कुल्फ़ी फालूदा ढूंढ रहे हैं, और आप मानोगे नहीं कि मतलब वहाँ मेरे को होर्डिंग दिखा, जो कि मतलब वी ओनली डिड इट, इट वाज अ वी मार्ट होर्डिंग. तो उसमें
हाँ.
कुछ इमेजेस मेरी थी, तो फिर मैंने कहा गाड़ी रोको यार, कुल्फी फालूदा क्या भाड़ में, पहले मेरी फोटो लो इसके सामने, लाइक दिस इज माय होर्डिंग. एंड देन माय फ्रेंड्स आर सेइंग इज दिस योर वर्क, लाइक आपके दोस्तों के लिए तो आप वही
हाँ, right, right.
रैंडम आदमी हो. तो मैंने कहा यार हाँ ये होर्डिंग मेरा है. तो बोलते हैं, जो तू बोलता था वो तूने कर दिया. तो मैंने बोला हाँ यार जो बोला था वो कर दिया. So I think special projects are where you see it live, larger than life, which is some kind of print, some kind of hoardings that you do. I got a full page spread for one of a pre-opening of restaurant. So that was a proud moment. We executed that project and it ended up being a first page spread on a newspaper. सो दैट वाज अ प्राउड मोमेंट. तो ऐसे काफ़ी सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, बट मेरे को ऐसा याद नहीं कि व्हेन डिड आई हैड अ बैड प्रोजेक्ट. सो आई थिंक आई एम इन अ वेरी दिस थिंग गुड सिचुएशन.
We were specifically about where do you see yourself? I mean, we
अरे हाँ.
diverted from the conversations
Yes.
per se, like completely. So,
Right.
yeah.
I think the 5-year plan is probably to uncomplicate myself as a photographer a little more, and then uh, be open to new work, whatever is coming, and giving my little bit of inputs and what you call a little bit of your touch to those projects and doing it. So there is no a plan on paper, but I think the next 5 years are gonna be a little bit onto self-challenging, self-exploring,
Hmm.
and just doing what I'm doing, and being happy with what I'm doing. So it's pretty much very simple. I mean, it's not at all complicated.
One question I wanted to ask specifically, is there, I mean, are you spiritual? Like,
Of
does
course, yes,
do
I
you think
think.
it helps you in photography?
Uh,
Like, as in
yes.
the process of, not like photography, as in the technical aspect of it, or creating an image, but how important it is for a photographer or for any artist to be like in that sanctity zone.
I mean, it's very important to be in the correct frame of mind. And no matter how you attain it, some people attain it by, kind of doing some physical activity. Some people do it the other way, maybe going to a religious place. And then we come to a segment which is spiritual, where you just submit yourself to some higher power, and you kind of be in that sanity of correct mind frame, so that you don't lie to yourself, and you basically stay true to your work. And personally, for me, I am a little spiritual, and I kind of like being like that, and not being taken away by certain trends or certain ongoing market strategies, or whatever you
Mm.
call it. But to be in that my own frame of mind, where I feel happy and I can operate at my 100%. So for me, it is very important, and I think I'm 200% sure that it's very important for other people, other artists, and I'm sure for you as well.
Yeah.
Some people, I think the ways are different.
Yeah.
सबका तरीका अलग है, but I think वो एक थोड़ा करेक्ट फ्रेम ऑफ माइंड बहुत ज़रूरी है टू बी ऑन अ सेट, बिकॉज हम रोज़ इतने लोगों के साथ अलग अलग लोगों के साथ इंटरेक्ट करते हैं, सबका फ्रेम ऑफ माइंड अलग होता है, सबकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग अलग होती है, एज ग्रुप्स अलग हैं, एक्सपीरियंसेस अलग हैं आजकल। तो वो सब बैलेंस करने के लिए आपको कहीं तो यू विल हैव टू बी अ लिटिल stable. So I think
Right.
that is very important for me personally.
Yeah. And how do you handle, like, when, let's say, 15, 20 days of shoot in a month? It happens continuously.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
clients who are waiting for you and they want you to execute the project. How do you balance it? What's your day like?
It's very manageable. I mean, it's not much, honestly. If I tell you, it's quite manageable. वो 30 दिन होते हैं सबके पास, 24 घंटे होते हैं सबके पास, तो उनको प्लान करना खुद के लिए, मतलब मेरे को नहीं लगता इतना बड़ा कोई टास्क है.
Hmm.
And you know my journey, so I have been that guy who was shot 25, 28 days also in a month.
Right.
तो मतलब मेरे को इतना कोई चैलेंजिंग नहीं लगता ये करना. But yes, with a little bit now I have started taking a little break just to balance me, and like I told you कि लाइफ के अराउंड जो चीज़ें चलती हैं वो थोड़ा सा बैलेंस करने के लिए मुझे अब आई हैव स्टार्टेड माइंडफुली taking a break from this thing. But the day is quite normal. You wake up, if you have a shoot next day as per the call times and everything, or if you have a free day, you just plan for the next project nicely with your producers, or the
Clients.
clients, the other clients, or any point of contact that you have for the next shoot. तो इट्स क्वाइट मैनेजेबल. मुझे लगता है कि मतलब ऐसे आजकल यू नीड अ मैनेजर एंड यू नीड दिस एंड दैट टू काइंड ऑफ डू. आई डोंट फाइंड द नीड ऑफ इट. आई थिंक इट्स क्वाइट doable as a freelancer, as an independent artist.
Mm.
I am sure it can be done in a very nice way, so it's not a much of a stressful job.
Right.
Yeah, you just plan it nicely, that's it. There's a quote that I believe in, prior planning prevents poor performance. तो मैं तो उसी पे ही बड़ा अमल रहता हूँ कि यार plan it in a way that so that you enjoy the shoot. So my 8 to 12 hours of shift, whatever I'm doing, is enjoyable. So I kind of put in the hard work 1-2 घंटे का पहले to plan it nicely. That's it. And then all my teammates, my assistants, fellow people, fellow crew on the set, they just enjoy the process because it's seamless after that. तो इतना ज़्यादा hustle नहीं होता कुछ.
Great. But
Yeah.
what's one piece of advice you want to give to the younger self of yours?
Oh, like that. I think uh, honestly, मुझे नहीं लगता कि ये ऐसा कुछ है. I think even if I have done it a little later in my life, I'm quite happy. I don't think I would be
Do you
able to.
regret anything in your life?
Not yet. I don't regret anything in my life. And I'm very proud to say this that I don't want to change anything in my journey as of now. I'm very happy that whatever came to me came at the right time. And अगर ये मुझे थोड़ा पहले या थोड़ा बाद में होता तो I think I would have not been prepared for anything, even for learning, even for executing shoots, even for the kind of clientele that I handle today. तो मुझे लगता है कि everything happens at the right time when you're ready. But you again, coming to the spiritual thing, but you have to be very mindful and in the right
Right.
frame of mind. So you don't ask for more in that frame, and then you don't underdeliver. Then you're a balanced person, and I think then things follow, and then everything just happens on its own.
Great.
Yeah.
ठीक है, so that's all for today. Thank you
Okay.
so much for joining.
It was
Really great.
very good. Thank you.
Thank you.